Hello friends, welcome to iExamB. I'm Satakshi and I'm your English faculty at iExamB. And in this video, we will discuss reading comprehension. So friends, this is our Perfecting QRE series and we have introduced this series with the aim of providing you with knowledge on the types of QRE, Quant Reasoning and English questions that come in the RBI Grade B examination, and also we'll tell you how to solve them, right? The topics that you see on the screen will be discussed in the month of May. In English, we will discuss reading comprehension. So friends, this is reading comprehension part 1, and for this we have taken an article from the editorial section of the Hindu newspaper, right? Now friends, this article was published in the Hindu editorial on 7th of April 2024, right? So friends, first question arises that why did I choose this article from the Hindu? So friends, first things first, you can choose an article from any newspaper, right? So you can practice reading and enhance your reading speed by reading editorials from any newspaper, or you can even read any of the research journals. The aim is actually to help you build your comprehending skills, to help you understand that what you are reading, are you able to decipher it correctly or not, right? So I personally like the Hindu because we also have the general awareness part in our examination, and whenever we read the articles from the Hindu, they generally tend to cover some of their past news also related to that topic, and it helps us cover our knowledge gap in regard to that particular topic. And this is the only reason that I have chosen the Hindu. But you can read editorial from any newspaper, you can take up any even NCRT books for reading practice, right? Now moving ahead, this is the original article. I have hidden the name of the title of this particular article on purpose, and the reason is because there is a question based on the title, right? So this is the actual what do you say, the actual editorial. Now friends, this I have presented in a more readable and understandable format. You can pause the screen and give it a read yourself, and then you can resume the screen to understand the discussion, right? So friends, here they are talking about a new rule, a new list that has been ordered by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Now what has happened is that according to this list, the aim of this list is actually to incentivize or to promote solar module manufacturing within the country, right? Here they are saying that this order was actually, this rule was decided in 2019, but it came into effect from 1st of April, right? And according to this rule, the makers of solar modules, they have to voluntarily, that is from their side, submit an inspection of their manufacturing facilities. So their facilities will be inspected by this particular body, which is actually affiliated by the concerned ministry, right? And now if these companies, these manufacturers are on the list as an approved manufacturing facility, then this would assure that the company has a legitimate manufacturer, it is a legitimate manufacturer of solar panels. And it is not only it is not that it is the company is merely importing and assembling the parts, it's importing from some other country and only assembling here and calling itself a manufacturer. So this will not happen, right? Now this became necessary because India's solar industry, its claim of its indigenousness notwithstanding, is heavily reliant on imports of cheaper and comparable quality solar modules from China, right? So because we call ourselves, we say that we manufacture solar panels here, but actually most of it, what is happening is we're importing the parts from China and merely assembling them here, right? So to remove this ambiguity or to remove this kind of confusion that who are the assemblers, who are the manufacturers, this list or this rule is out now, right? So now here it says that along with increasing indigenous production, diplomatic tensions with China also is one of the reasons that why this rule has come up, right? And also they've mentioned that China controls 80% of the global supply when it comes to solar modules, right, and related equipments, right? Then they are saying that India has ambitious plans of sourcing about so and so 500 gigawatts, nearly half of its requirement of electricity from non-fossil fossil fuel sources by 2030. That means India has set an ambitious plan of sourcing about 50% of its requirement from non-fossil fuel sources, right? So in this way, till now, till in last 5 years, only 13 gigawatts has been achieved, right? So there's a lot of a big number that is remaining to be achieved, and now it seems that there may be difficulty in achieving the target, and also they are saying that difficulty is that meeting the targets require many more solar panels and component cells than India's domestic industry can supply. So this is author's point of view, that when we consider the capacity of our country to supply these panels, still we think that we may not be able to achieve the targets as in set till to be achieved till 2030, right? Now moving forward, they are saying here, they have told what are the advantages for the manufacturers to be in the list, right? Now you can pause again and then you can read. They are telling here that there are several government schemes mentioned here in this particular slide, that these benefits can only be availed by manufacturers who are in this list, the AMM list, right? And also when you are in the list, when any manufacturer is in the AMM list, that manufacturer will be able to compete for government solar energy contracts, right? Now the schemes mentioned here are PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, and it subsidizes rooftop solar installation and comes with a subsidy budget of 75,000 crore exclusively for certified domestic manufacturers, right? Then they have talked about PM Kusum scheme. Here they have talked about PM Kusum scheme, and they have told that here it targets rural electrification and solar pump set installation. Again, these components must be from certified local manufacturers, right? Now the production linked incentive scheme, this has a funding of 24,000 crore rupees, and it aims to boost domestic manufacture of solar panels and components, right? And again the eligibility is restricted to AMM manufactured list manufacturers, right? So this is what they are talking about. Also they are saying that the eligibility restrictions apply solely to new projects, and existing facilities that were commissioned before March 2024 can utilize imported modules, right? So it is for the new projects, not the old ones, right? Now again, this is the last part. They are talking about what were the things in the past and what future looks like. They are saying that last year India actually saw a big boost in solar exports, right? Almost hitting 1 billion worth US dollars, right, just in 6 months. And this happened because of a reason, and the reason is that there was a drop in global demand for Chinese solar components, and the reason was that there was some serious allegation of forced labor which surfaced in China. The US and Europe dialed back their imports from China, which opened up new doors for Indian solar companies, right? But then again, there is again a certain change. However, there's a bit of a cloud hanging over this, scenario, and it is because changes in US policy could bring back some old challenges for Indian solar exports, right? Now, also, despite these gains, India still depends a lot on the imports, right? And about half of its solar modules come from China, and this demand supply mismatch in the Indian solar industry doesn't look like it's going any way, any time soon. It won't go away. So but when we talk on the brighter side, the Indian government is really pushing to ramp up domestic manufacturing capacity starting this year. The number of certified manufacturers on India's approved models and manufactured list has grown to 82, right? But we are still missing a comprehensive list of solar cell manufacturers, which kind of shows that India still has a long way to go before it can truly call itself self-reliant in the solar sector, right? So this is what this particular part talks about, right? Now coming to the questions. So as I had mentioned that there's a question based on title, right? So before moving forward, let's see what makes the best title for a passage. Now, firstly, it should be all encompassing, right? It should broadly cover the important aspects of the passage. It should give a big picture, right? Like if this is the passage, you may pause the video and read it. It talks about challenges the tobacco industry faces and way forward, right? So it is possible that these are the options given to you, right? So the first option, that is less harmful alternatives killing tobacco industry, and the second option, challenges faced by the tobacco industry and way forward, right? So here, if you look at the options, the option 1 is too specific, right? There are many other challenges as well that have been mentioned in the passage, right? Hence, 1 is too specific and it does not give a big picture, while on the other hand, option 2 is all encompassing. It covers all the challenges and way forward. Hence, this will be the title, right? Now, be careful that if we talk about this particular title selection, it is possible that statements given as options may be true as per the information given in the passage, but they may not convey the overall idea of the passage. Hence, you cannot select them as appropriate titles, right? So, now moving ahead to the questions. So the first question says, which of the following is the most appropriate title for the passage, right? So considering the first one, India's way of handling diplomatic tensions with China, right? So this particular statement, option 1, this is only tangentially related, right? It is not something, that passage is focused on the diplomatic tensions or how to handle diplomatic tensions with China. That is not what the passage is talking about, right? And this is not the only way in which India can handle its diplomatic tensions with China, right? So the passage is more focused on production rather than diplomatic dynamics, right? So 1 cannot be the answer. Second statement says India on the way to become leading solar manufacturer. Now, we all know that there are several challenges mentioned in the passage where, they talk about how it looks difficult for India to meet its own targets, what it has set its own targets. Even meeting those targets looks very difficult. So obviously, being the leading solar manufacturer is kind of out of question, right? So it is too far-fetched, too assertive, and it is just not fully supported by the passage because the passage also presents the ongoing challenges, right? So 2 cannot be the answer. Now talking about the third one, Indian government's clean energy initiatives, right? Now this is too broad, right? Clean energy not only will talk about only about the solar panel manufacturers, right? There's so many other aspects as well to clean energy initiatives, right? So this is too broad, third one. Now talking about the fifth one first, this is particularly very narrow, okay, because this is talking about the creation of domestic manufacturing list aimed at restricting imports from China, because the aim is not only to restrict imports from China, it is also to enhance our own production, right? So that India becomes self-sufficient and self-reliant, right? The last sentence of the passage, right? So this is too narrow and it's emphasizing only on one aspect of the new rules, while the passage covers broader impacts and initiatives, right? Now when we see the fourth one, will new solar power rules boost production? Yes, this actually is something that directly addresses the central issue discussed in the passage, and it also talks about the impact of new regulations on boosting domestic solar module production in India, right? So yes, fourth one is something that is talking about, yes, there are rules that have been put in place, and also whether, you know, those rules or bringing those rules will actually improve the production aspect, the other thing that has been talked about in the passage, right? So yes, fourth option is the correct answer. Next question. It is based on deciphering or finding out whether the statement is definitely true, false, true, probably false, or cannot be determined. The statement is India will continue to face challenges in the near future with respect to meeting its solar energy targets due to domestic production constraints, right? Now, you have to tell the veracity of this statement, right? So, this statement has not been directly stated in the passage. We know this. So, this cannot be definitely true, right? Also, the opposite of this statement hasn't been stated. Hence, it cannot be definitely false, right? Now, there are some points in the passage, like see this one, where they talk about, they say that the difficulty is that meeting the targets require many more social panels and component cells than India's domestic industry can supply, right? And here they are saying about the uncertainty for the future of Indian exports. Here they are talking about the demand supply mismatch is expected to persist, and here they are saying that India is still far away from achieving a comfortable degree of self-reliance, right? Now, all these points show that yes, challenges are expected when it comes to India meeting its solar energy targets. Hence, yes, this statement is probably true. It cannot be definitely true. So, we will mark 3 as our answer. Now, friends, in part 2, we will discuss more questions based on this particular passage. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do. Please hit the bell icon to continue receiving the updates of the videos we bring for you. Prepare 50% faster with iExamB with a crisp content about which you can get more information on our iExamB website. To get all preparation content on your fingertips, download our app now.